Hi, my name is Stephanie Barrios. I am in Chemistry 101 with Andrew Palokin. I believe that's how you pronounce my professor's name. Um, so today I made a presentation on ions and how we need them and how they affect our health as humans. Okay. So I said, what do ions have to do with human health? We may not think about it much, but without ions, many chemical reactions that happen within our bodies and in the world in general would simply not happen. I believe the easiest way to get ions into the body is to simply include foods that are rich in those specific ions. So if you want a specific ion in your body, I say the easiest way is just to eat stuff, and I can give some examples right now. How we easily get ions into our bodies. This could be something like eating bananas if you're low in potassium. Without ions in our bodies wouldn't be able to send electrical signals throughout our body. This would cause our bodies to stop sending signals to the brain, and with this being said, we wouldn't be able to move or even talk. So without those electrical signals being sent, we wouldn't be able to move, we wouldn't be able to talk, we'd be brain dead basically. So ions are very, very important to us. So I named a group 1 cation. Can you see? Group 1 cation. The group 1 cation that I chose was potassium. So I said one ion that is critical to human health from group 1 cation is the ion potassium. It's the most known dietary source of potassium is bananas. Another good source is avocados, which has more potassium than bananas. Potassium actually helps our bodies do a lot. I believe when you think of potassium and like eating, you think of bananas, but avocados do have a lot more potassium than bananas. I believe we do choose bananas over avocados. 1, because they're cheaper. 2, because I personally think they taste better. So potassium actually helps our bodies do a lot. 2 of the main things it does for us is 1, it makes our nerves function, and then 2, it keeps our heart rate. It helps keep our heart rate state regular. So for the first one, it helps us make our nerves function. So an example, I don't know if you've heard of this, but when the other day I got a cramp in my leg, right? And I was actually on FaceTime with my friend. She's like, quick, go drink some water and eat a banana. And I was like wondering why, but she said something about our nerves and how it helps, helps the cramp go away. Okay. Without intaking any potassium, you are at risk for a disease. An example would be, I believe this is how you pronounce it, the Cushing disease or Cushing syndrome, which affects 10 to 15 people per million every year. So that sounds like it's definitely rare, but it happens. The most simplistic way to avoid this deficiency is to eat a healthy, balanced diet. Oopsies, I have low battery. Then I also named a transition metal, which is copper. Can you see? Copper. A transition metal named copper has a 2+ charge It is a reddish brownish colored metal and is a great electrical conductor. Copper deficiency is rare in healthy people, but could still cause you to get diseases such as anemia. There are now copper supplements to help people overcome copper deficiency. So there's like these little pills, or other ways you can take it. If you don't like pills, I'm sure they have like a gummy that you can take to make sure you're not deficient in it. So there are now copper supplements to help people overcome copper deficiency. This ion participates in reactions that involve transportation of oxygen in our bodies. So copper is definitely important to us because we breathe oxygen all day. Some dietary sources include shellfish and whole grains. Alright, and then I gave an anion. An anion that I feel is important to human health is group 17 anion. I chose chloride, the ion chloride. Chloride is a colorless and it's soluble in water. Table salt is an example of this type of ion. Table salt is a dietary source of chloride. One of its rules in physiology is that it regulates body fluids. Deficiency from this ion can result in hypochloremia, I believe is how you say it. You can avoid this deficiency by staying hydrated, preferably something with salt, and this could be just some water with, add a little bit of salt, make sure it dissolves, and there you go. Oopsies. Okay, and then I also named a polyatomic ion, and the polyatomic ion that I chose was phosphate. So it has a charge of -3, and phosphate can be found in things like dairy, poultry, legumes is I believe how you say it, so things like beans, stuff like that. Within the cell membrane, phosphate is responsible for enzymatic reactions such as glycolysis and ammonogenesis. Although phosphorus deficiency is rare, it can cause diseases such as anorexia and anemia, which I believe we're all aware of. Eating things that include dairy, grains, or nuts can prevent you from phosphorus deficiency. So grains is very important to us too. In conclusion, as you can see, I only listed 4 ions that I feel are important to our health. Within the 4 ions, I was able to list so many things about each of them. Although ions are very little, you can't see them, doesn't mean they don't play a big part in our life. Each plays their own part, and then when they play their own part, they become a whole, and then they play a huge part in our bodies. Altogether, they make sure our bodies are very healthy. We can find all sorts of different ions in our foods. One specific food isn't going to have one specific ion. For example, with bananas, it's not only going to have potassium, it's going to have other things that help our bodies. So the ions work together to give us the nutrients we need. If we somehow become deficient in all of these ions that I listed, our bodies simply wouldn't work. So if we didn't have ions or eat anything with ions, then our body would just be brain dead. We wouldn't be able to move, talk. Our body would just not function. And then I did give a reference page from all the information. All right. Thank you.